All right. But, guys, what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be going back and doing tier lists, guys. It's been a while since we've done any tier lists here on stream, so I thought let's just do it. Let's just bring it back. Because what we're going to be doing is we are going to be ranking every anime studio. And that's probably going to be hyperbolic because there are so many anime studios out now. So I've just got a random tier list of most of the anime studios that I recognize. And we're going to be ranking them in its own way because I don't think it's fair to rank studios like A tier, S tier, the usual anime ranking, the usual ranking tiers that we got. And disclaimer, before anyone kind of like voices this problem, because there is a certain image with anime studios that's with anime studios, it's always like the same teams and the same people and the same qualities. And there is so many more factors than just the anime studio that goes into making a banger anime or a banger show. Some studios can bring out a banger. Some studios can bring a banger out of nowhere. And that's because it's not the studio itself. The quality of the anime is more to do with the staff members, the director, the animators, and whatever staff members are working on that specific project. And a lot of these staff members, a lot of these directors can work for more than one singular studio. Some of them are freelancers. So it's kind of like a fallacy. It's kind of like half a fallacy to say this studio always brings out goated stuff because they made this particular show. But having said all that, and knowing that it's not just the studio themselves, it's more to do with the staff members and everything that go into making a banger adaptation. Having said all that, there are certain studios that have been around for a while that I feel have a legacy to them, have a history to them, and have built up a trust with their audience that if you see a certain studio take on a project, you get excited because they have a history of having the right connections to bring together the right staff members to bring out a banger adaptation. And this is more to do with my gut feeling when I see a certain studio has been attached to a certain IP. Right? That is more what this is about. This is less to do with a scientific breakdown of this studio has made this many banger shows. This is I see a studio and do I have that inbuilt trust in me for that studio to bring out a banger? So that's what it's going to be based on. So this is the rankings that we are going to be judging these studios by. So it's going to be less to do with going through their history and judging everything that they've done, and more to do with what is your gut feeling when you see, okay, here it is. You have a manga or light novel that you really like, and it's been announced to have an animated adaptation, right? And you see a certain studio has been given the responsibility of adapting that IP. What is your gut feeling? Is your gut feeling going to be, this is an instant banger? Is your gut feeling going to be, it's probably going to be good? Is it going to be a 50-50? You know, maybe they can pull out something good, or maybe it's not going to be great. Will the source material have to carry? Will the source material have to carry, and you don't have hope that the studio is going to bring something extra to this adaptation? Or are we gonna just like, all hope is lost? All hope is lost, baby. All hope is lost. It's donezo. It's donezo. So that is the ranking system that we are going with for this tier list. And I think this is the fairest way to rank. This is the fairest way to rank all the different brands of that these studios have built up. Another thing, we are going to be ranking purely based on their work and not on news about working conditions and how well they treat their employees, because that could get really fucking messy. And at the end of the day, this is, you know, there are definitely some studios that treat their employees better than others. We've heard, we don't know everything. We don't know every bad story that's gone on in the anime industry, but it is an unfortunate reality that even news does come out about maybe a certain studio or, you know, a certain production. It's pretty well known that there are a lot of issues in the anime industry, unfortunately, and I guess Japanese work culture in general. And it's very, very hard, and it very, very much sucks. So we are going to be judging this purely based on the quality of work. And I think because if we're gonna be doing work culture as well, that's gonna be like, whew, that's gonna be hard to do. That's gonna be hard to do. So this is more just meant to be a fun little list, guys. This is more just meant to be a fun little list. That's it. And so we are going to get started. Every studio except Kyoto Anime will be F tier. Yeah, that's basically the vibe that I got after reading so many different like news outlets, where it's just like, okay, there's Kyoto Animation as the GOATs, and a lot of other studios are very, very shady. That's basically what I know. So, starting off with Studio Pierrot. Studio Pierrot is obviously a very, very old studio, and I know Studio Pierrot as animating some of the most well-known and popular Shonen Jump shows in history. I mean, they did Naruto, they did Bleach, they did Yu Yu Hakusho, and they did Black Clover as well. What else do they do outside of Shonen? You see this. I'm not going to be doing this for everything, but because I know they do more. They do a lot of things, right? Oh, they do Kingdom as well. Okay, so they do more than just Shonen, but I would say I very much know them purely, basically, for their Shonen Jump stuff and the legacy that goes into that. Oh, they did they did Tokyo Ghoul as well. They did Tokyo Ghoul. Okay. All right. So, my gut feeling when it comes to Studio Pierrot is they have an outlier. They have a very recent outlier. And that is the new Bleach adaptation. The new Bleach remake, not even remake, the new Bleach Resurrection has been far and beyond the greatest thing that they have made. Revival, that is probably a more accurate way. That has been the greatest thing that they've made. And that is something that is consistently high quality animation, high quality production, and just a high standard of animation adaptation in basically every single episode. Because to me, when I think Studio Pierrot, I think of their OG shonen anime adaptations. When I've talked about this before, but they are the kings at having 1 or 2 10 out of 10 banger episodes per season, per 12 or 24 episodes, right? And they will have one amazing fight that goes down in history. I would argue that Studio Pierrot have gone down are responsible for giving some of the greatest singular fight scenes and some of the most iconic fight scenes in anime, period. You have Rock Lee versus Gaara. You have basically every Naruto, every hype Naruto fight, you know. Toby versus Kakashi, fucking Naruto versus Sasuke, all that stuff. It is they have some of the most iconic anime fights within their resume, but also in between that, you just have, I feel like you have a production that is just a very standard production where the animation and the adaptation in general is just possible. It's just okay. It's possible. It's not bad at all. It's just fine. You know, it's just fine. It's like having a 6 out of 10 adaptation with some 10 out of 10 episodes. And that to me is what I feel like when I see Studio Pierrot. The question is, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean it's going to be a 50-50? Or will that mean it's going to be probably good or instant banger? And my gut feeling is that I would rather a series have 10 out of 10 moments in it. I'd rather a series have 10 out of 10 moments in it than all of it be just consistently 6 or 7 out of 10. You know, even though I don't think their philosophy when it comes to, aside from Bleach, their philosophy when it comes to adapting long-running shonens has aged well nowadays with the whole seasonal shonen kind of like adaptations where you have consistently great high-quality seasons. I would prefer them to have 10 out of 10 moments in it. But I don't think that's enough to be probably will be good. Bleach to me has been an outlier, and seeing the rest of their adaptations, I'd say it's closer to on the high end of 50-50 or on the low end of probably will be good. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to start off there. We're going to start off there. Going to start off there. GoHands. Oh boy. GoHands is have a very unique style. Have, out of every studio, some studios don't really have one consistent style to them, where you watch a show and you're like, oh, this is by that studio. This is by that studio. GoHands definitely have that style. They have a very unique style to pretty much all of their adaptations. And their style is, we are going to cook. We are going to cook as much as possible. And then you watch it and you're like, are we cooking a bit too hard right now? Wait, I think GoHands. I think maybe you overcooked it. I think maybe you might have overcooked a little bit too much in some of your adaptations. GoHands is the equivalent of doing a PowerPoint presentation and trying to use every single transition effect you possibly can do with your PowerPoint presentation. They are using every single effect, every single plugin that they can find when it comes to the SFX. They go through their After Effects and they just click every single plugin they possibly can. And sometimes it's all right. I enjoyed K. K was fine. But sometimes there is just way too much going on. There is too much going on. Sometimes I feel less is more with GoHands. And unfortunately, more often than not, I feel like they overcook rather than cooking the right amount. The Glasses Girl was great. Even that was a bit more quiet compared to other GoHands stuff, and I thought the Glasses Girl, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, but then I think about Handshakers. So to me, I would be curious to see what GoHands do if GoHands if GoHands ever get the opportunity to adapt a really highly acclaimed manga or stuff like that. But my gut instinct is to say that with GoHands, the source material will have to carry it. Maybe if they have source material where they're like, okay, we need this to be a little bit more quiet. Please, GoHands, please make this a little bit more quiet. And then you will learn that sometimes you don't need to cook everything. Sometimes, because when they do the GoHands camera, what do you fucking call it, man? The GoHands angle. The GoHands angle. Let me talk about the GoHands angle where they always have the fucking tracking shots, and it's a tracking shot that lasts for like way too long, and it's like the most mundane fucking scene, and they're like, all right, let's just add a tracking shot to this. Why not? Why not? The cockroach angle. POV, you are a cockroach right now, and you're just watching the main character take part in a high school anime. It is very nicely animated, but I feel like it would have more impact if they had the tools, if they used the tools at their disposal with a little bit more reservation. Silverlink. Now, I'm going to have to be reminded of what Silverlink have done. I've heard of the studio before, but I can never remember some of the stuff that they've done. Okay, Yozakura-san. Okay, we got the song called Gal. Okay, so they've done some isekai, they've done a lot of isekai, some comfort romance shows. They do a little bit of everything. I did like Law Accurate Shield Hero, Moe Shield Hero. That was enjoyable. So they've done a lot of isekai that I'm like, okay, I enjoy this. Oh shit, they did. Did they do the film of this? Oh, they did the Prisma Ilia film. That was actually okay. That was great. That was great. Okay, so they are capable of doing bangers. All right, I can understand now why I've heard of Silverlink, but I don't remember what they've done. Silverlink is definitely the 50-50. They're capable of doing stuff that stand out. But when I see, I guess looking at a lot of the anime that they've done so far, a lot of the anime they've done, even though there are some that stand out, is definitely, a lot of them are, okay, here is a seasonal show that is like a 7 out of 10. I enjoy it when I watch it, but is it going to be one of those shows that I come back to and remember as being one of the standout of the seasons? This is probably not going to be one of those shows. So they are just a very consistent company in that sense, and I would say that's closer to a 50-50 for me. Toei Animation. This is hard. This is so hard, right? This is actually hard. And part of the reason it is very, very hard is, number one, Toei have been around the anime industry for forever, basically. I believe they were one of the first anime studios that were made. and are still around. And because of that, they are so large and have so many different teams, so many different offshoots now that they can do pretty much anything. And they can both put out bangers and both put out stinkers as well. But they're almost in their like own tier, if I had to say. But nowadays, I think there was a time when I was not a fan of what Toei was doing with One Piece, especially One Piece, where Toei have some of the most respected, most prestigious IPs in the history of Japanese animation. They have like not only One Piece, they have shit like Doraemon, Digimon, the stuff that goes beyond just the small anime sphere itself and more just like into Japanese pop culture. Oh, fucking Dragon Ball. How did I hit? Wait, I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Dragon Ball. How did I fucking forget Dragon Ball, guys? Wait, not Doraemon? Shit. Is it not Doraemon? Is Doraemon not Toei? I don't know why I thought Doraemon was Toei. Is it Toei? Oh shit, I might have been wrong. Shit. Wow, I just assumed this entire time that Doraemon was Toei. I was like, shit, it fits the IP. It's got to be Toei, right? I just assumed it was Toei. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for correcting me, guys. This is why this isn't a scripted video. I can get some things wrong here and there, but if I had to dumb down Toei into like a sentence, this is the animation studio that is responsible for your childhood. This is it. This is the animation studio that is responsible for your childhood. Not even you being an anime fan, just responsible for your childhood. And when I think of Toei, I think of stuff that they've done, like One Piece, where there was a long time when I did not like that how they were adapting One Piece, because the pacing of OG One Piece is kind of like insufferable at times. It is very, very slow. And sometimes animation wise for like a lot of One Piece, I never felt that it touched the highs of, let's say, Naruto or even Bleach or some of its competitors. But that was back in the day. I think Toei recently have gone through a renaissance. Have gone through a fucking renaissance recently, where they have, I don't know what they have done, but I feel after Super, after One Piece's Wano arc, they have gotten a really, really reliable team that can consistently make fucking god tier stuff. Even with modern One Piece, where I still think that, you know, the reason I don't watch modern One Piece a lot of times is because it has that same pacing issue. And I've heard it's gotten better, to be fair. I've heard it's gotten better than it used to be. But for a weekly show, they are consistently able to make some amazing fucking moments and amazing fucking pieces of animation that are absolutely iconic on a much more consistent basis. It's so much more consistent than it used to be. It's not the Studio Pierrot where it's like one episode out of like 24. It is a lot. They're able to do it much more than they used to back in the day. And nowadays, when I see Toei doing anime original projects like Girls Band Cry was by Toei, a lot of people forget that Girls Band Cry was a Toei Animation project, and that absolutely popped off. What? Yeah, I know. That absolutely popped off. And you have projects like One Piece, the the One Piece short movie, the One Piece fan letter, which was 10 out of fucking 10. That was amazing. I kind of think that Toei is moving more towards this. I'm not going to say it's going to be an instant banger now, but if Toei takes on a project, I'm gonna pay attention, man. I'm gonna pay attention. Maybe it wasn't there before, but modern Toei has locked in. Modern Toei has fucking locked in, and with some of their anime original projects, they've gone fucking hard, man. They've gone fucking hard with Dragon Ball Daima as well. That has been really, really fucking good for the episodes I've seen. How long has this modern Toei been around? For a few years, my guy. It's been a few years now. It's actually been a few years. You know, it's because Toei have been around for so long that you forget that modern Toei, the modern iteration of Toei, have been around for a pretty long time, and they've built on the new foundation that they have put down, and we are now seeing the fruits of their labor. Remember when Dragon Ball Super first came out? You know, this was back then. Toei would have been like here or here. Remember when Dragon Ball Super came out and we saw the Beerus fight, and we saw some of the animation in the Beerus fight, and they got like clowned on. So that got clowned on, and seeing that compared to what modern Toei is now, they have come a long fucking way. And I think modern Toei is more closer to here than it is back then. David Production is a weird one. David Production is a weird one because people see David Production and they think the JoJo. This is the JoJo. This is the JoJo studio, right? And that has been deeply rooted in their identity. But I would say that I'm not sure if David Productions does have an identity. David Productions has done JoJo. They did Fire Force as well. They did Cells at Work. They did Undead Unluck. They do a whole wide range of different shows, of different genres. Oh, Urusei Yatsura as well. And it's weird that even though they've done so many stuff, people still think of them as the JoJo studio. Where, to me, nowadays, modern David Productions, they are a consistent studio, right? They don't specifically have one style anymore, but I would say they are consistently pretty good. All the shows I've just named off. JoJo obviously is the most popular work, but the work they did on Fire Force, animation-wise, adaptation-wise, was very, very good for the source material they had. It was they had some like banger moments of animation. There's sound design as well. Woo! Let's talk about the fucking. They are the fucking. It's like the equivalent of like the Hans Zimmer bass when it comes to their sound design, man. You know you're watching a David Productions when you hear the sound design and it's like, and your eardrums are just like blown off. The fucking bass, man. Holy shit. I would love to watch a David Productions anime in cinemas and just be like, boom, and woo. But even stuff like Undead Unluck was a very solid adaptation as well. Urusei Yatsura has been very, very solid as well. Very, very good. So I would say they are consistent at making A-tier shows. Have they made some S-tier shows? Yes, they've made JoJo before, but out of everything else they do, I think they consistently make high B to A-tier shows. And I think if David Productions get something, it's probably going to be pretty good. It's probably going to be good. White Fox, the ReZero Studio, or the or the Isekai Studio. putting Toei above Pierrot is crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I think Pierrot has to do more to prove itself other than just the Bleach adaptation. That's it. You know, Toei have proved themselves more consistent to me than Pierrot recently. Pierrot have done one really fucking great adaptation, and if they do more, then if they continue to do more than just the new Bleach, then I would put it a tier higher. White Fox, to me, are not always. People will look at White Fox and they see ReZero, which is fucking great. Do they have more than ReZero? Well, yes, they have Steins Gate, I believe. They have Steins Gate and ReZero as they're like the main shows I think about that have been fucking fantastic. My gut reaction though, when I see White Fox, I have the same kind of gut reaction as David Productions. It's kind of like they have ReZero and they have Steins Gate, but I think that was just like how good was the source material for those things. That like the source material for those things was great, and I think White Fox is a great studio. I'm not sure if they have done enough to be counted as GOAT status, and we will get to some anime studios that are GOAT status, right? That are fucking. They have made some fucking goated shows, not just in their adaptations, but just not just with the source material and the IPs that they've been adapting, but really bringing on so much more to the source material, to like elevating the source material that to that higher tier. And let's see White Fox. Stop the cap? No. Like, White Fox obviously have done ReZero recently. What else they've done? Goblin Slayer was alright. It's alright. Ari Ferretta was alright. You know, it's because like to me, right? To me, when I see White Fox, if they have a really banger IP, I trust them to adapt it well. You know, I trust them to adapt it well. When I have some other IPs, I don't trust them to bring it to a whole new level. You know? And that is my gut feeling. Oh, they did a Kamega kill? They did a Kamega kill? Okay. So yeah, that is to me my gut feeling with White Fox. This high tier, they don't just need to adapt well. I feel like they need to elevate, right? They need to not only take the source material and adapt it well, but the goated studios take the source material and elevate it to a even higher level, right? But White Fox, I think if they make something, it's probably going to be good. It's going to be good, you know? Same thing with David Productions. I'm like, you get it? And I'm like, it's probably going to be a good adaptation. And we're going to leave it at that. You know? White Fox, have some goated shows like ReZero, like Steins Gate, obviously. But I think the source material for those things are, well, already fucking great as well. So I think White Fox deserves to go there. A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures is very hard to judge. Because when I see A1, like Toei Animation at least, they do so many things, and they have so many different so many different teams, so many different offshoots that that all come together under the umbrella of A1 Pictures, right? So you can never tell which A1 team you're going to get because the studio itself is just so fucking massive, and they do every genre, every type of adaptation, every genre, so many different shows that it is hard to gauge what kind of shows, you know, they definitely don't have an identity to themselves. But I wouldn't call them hit or miss. If a hype, okay, like going by the same standards that I said at the beginning of the stream, if a manga gets adapted by A1, if a manga you love or a light novel you love gets an anime, and A1 Pictures are the people who are going to be adapting it, it's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good. It's a safe bet. Is it going to be an instant banger? Hard to say, but it's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be a safe, well-made adaptation, right? It's probably going to be a safe, well-made adaptation. Maybe not the 10 out of 10, but it's going to be you can probably pretty much guarantee that it will at least be an 8 out of 10. You know, a good 8 out of 10 show. Even with how big the studio is, and even though they have put out stinkers before, but I can't think of a time when A1 have actually dropped the ball with an adaptation. When they've completely just like dropped the ball. I might be wrong, but off the top of my head, I can't think of one where they've taken like a hype, where they've taken a really hype IP and kind of just like dropped the ball. Seven Deadly Sins? Did they make Seven Deadly Sins season 3? Because didn't people like the Seven Deadly Sins season 1 and 2? No, they didn't? Okay. So they made the seasons of Seven Deadly Sins that people enjoyed. Okay. So my point still stands. My point still stands. My point stands. All right. Point stands. So I think to me, so A1 Pictures is a safe pick. It's good. I'm fine with it being there. OLM is a pretty new studio that have come out. OLM 50/50. I think OLM are pretty fucking good, actually. They are pretty fucking good. They actually have more bangers than not. I first heard about OLM when they took over the new Pokemon, and you can see when OLM took over the new Pokemon, are they an old studio? Because I'd heard about them. How old are they? Shit, they are a lot older than what I... Holy shit. How have I only heard of OLM recently? Damn. Okay, did something happen with OLM? What is the history of OLM? I'm going to learn about this now. Were they named something else originally? Similar to Mankind. Nope, always OLM? Shit. Alright, well, thank you for fact-checking me, guys. Okay. Because in my mind, right? In my mind, OLM, I don't know if they did a Toei or if they pulled a Toei or something like that, but in my mind, they kind of like started existing in my mind when Pokemon got its revamp, right? Go through their past shows. I know. So they did the original Berserk, okay. Okay, did some of the OG Pokemons as well. So they were basically a Pokemon studio for a long time with a few other shows that I have never heard of. Yeah, Pokemon. Okay. So it seems like the reason I'd never heard of them is they did a lot of kids shows. They did a lot of kids shows. And then it was round about the time when it was like Pokemon The Origin that I'd first heard of their name in my mind. And more recently have I felt like they've done more shows that have just been like Pokemon and other kids shows, which is I guess why I've heard of them more recently. Because I would say their recent stuff has been pretty fucking consistent in that when I see OLM on a show, like they did Apothecary Diaries. I thought they did Summertime Render as well. Did they do Summertime Render? Yeah, they did Summertime Render as well. They did Komi-san. They did Odd Taxi. So whenever they do something that is not a kids show, I get pretty excited actually, because they did they have a pretty good track record, even though I am now learning that they've been around for a very long time. They've been around for a very long time. I've only just gotten acquainted with them recently, and I guess I understand why now, because they were a completely different IP back in the day, doing more kids show stuff. I see OLM, and I'm like, all right. I'm excited. This will probably be a pretty good adaptation, especially if they have hype source material. It's probably going to be pretty good, even if they do an anime original, something like Odd Taxi. It's probably going to be a pretty good show as well. Summertime Render, I think, was very, very good. Komi-san, I think for the source material they did a great job with the source material. It's basically how much you like Komi-san is probably how much you like Komi-san. I think that at the top of probably will be good. Maybe if they make more classics, maybe if they make some more, I think what they're missing right now, maybe Apothecary Diaries is going to age well as a modern classic the more that time goes on. The thing that they're missing right now is just a classic in their resume, I would think. But everything else so far, I think they have a pretty good track record when they get attached to an IP. Pokemon is a classic. Okay, but like, how can I say this? how can I, guys? Do you guys still watch? Do you guys still watch Pokemon? You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean when I say classic, right? Let's just. Right, you guys know what I mean when I say classic, okay, guys? I'm not here. This is like we're arguing like semantics right now. All right, I'm not here to argue that Pokemon is not a lot of people's childhoods, and you'd argue that it is a classic. But you watch, you go on people's like 3x3. You ask for people's favorite anime of all time. Like nobody's saying Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon is the anime that got people into anime. All right. The games are a classic. Okay, I'll take that. The games were a classic. All right. There. Typical Digimon fanboy. Yes. How did you know? How did you know, guys? How did you know? All right. Science Saru is, I think, the first studio on this list that really have, is it the first studio on this list? Yeah, that really have such a unique identity. And obviously it was a studio founded by Masaki Yuasa. Science Saru, everything that they touch has a unique feel to them, and they are a studio that undoubtedly have passion put into every single project they work on. They are not a studio they are a studio that not only adapts source material well, but can elevate it into a whole new level. I mean, taking IPs, like even what they're doing with Dandadan now, I think that the Dandadan manga is already great, and they are able to take what, reading the beginning of Dandadan, I can already see that they are elevating the source material that they have with Dandadan. Obviously, you have some other goated shows, Devilman Crybaby, Ping Pong the Animation. Science Saru are one of the goated studios. And they are a studio that deserve to be in the instant banger tier. If one of your favorite mangas, one of your favorite light novels gets Science Saru on that, I'm like, yep, it's gonna be an instant banger. Instant banger, baby. Let's go. They didn't do Ping Pong? Oh, was this before Masaki Yuasa made Science Saru? Was this before Masaki Yuasa made Science Saru? Because that's Aizuken was amazing. Yeah, Aizuken was amazing. This is like this is literally the Studio Trigger Gurren Lagann situation. Production IG is a very, very, very old studio as well. They have made bangers, but I felt like recently, so they had a lull period for a while. I feel like Production IG had a lull period for a while, where Production IG were known as the sci-fi studio, and then they made Kuroko no Basket, and then they made Haikyuu, and everyone knew them for like the goated sports studio. And then I swear they had a lull period. Am I wrong on this? Because I think they might be coming back, because Kaiju number 8 was decent. But it felt like Production IG. They made Heavenly Delusion and okay. Well, they made Psycho Pass. They made Heavenly Delusion. They didn't make the final season, did they? No, I thought that was Studio Mappa that made the final season. They helped with that? Because I swear they had a lull period. Why does it say that they worked in the final season? Did they just help with that? Because I'm going to count Attack on Titan final season as more Mappa based. Yes, this was the lull period. Was it because is it because Production IG is just so big in general? Because I know Studio Wit was born from Production IG. So Great Pretender, I'm going to count as Studio Wit more than just the Production IG umbrella. Okay, because like a lot of their best works in this period is Studio Wit stuff. And I swear for the longest time, anything that wasn't Studio Wit was just eh. They definitely had a lull period where I'm looking at this and I think it's from like 2017 where they were still like doing Haikyuu. And then I think they just went through a lull period for quite a while. Where they just weren't making anything too exciting. And then I feel like more recently they've made Aoashi, which was good. They made Heavenly Delusion, which was great. They made Kaiju number 8, which was also a good adaptation. And they made Terminator Zero, which was solid. So it's kind of hard to judge Production IG. Maybe because like Toei Animation, they are just, and A1 Pictures, they are such a large studio that have been around for a very, very long time. But I don't think they have the same consistency as A1 Pictures and Toei Animation because their highs are really, really fucking high. But their lows are shit like Uzumaki. Stuff that are just like, it's okay. Like Studio Fulikuli was like, you know. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, was that even good? I didn't even watch that. I didn't. Uzumaki is not them. They did episode 1 of Uzumaki. Ah, okay. So they did the good episode of Uzumaki, is what I'm hearing. Okay. They did do the new Legends of the Galactic Heroes. Okay, that was good. All right. After looking at some of their recent stuff and maybe some of their productions, maybe it's on the lower end of here. But they have the history. It's probably going to be good nowadays. It's probably going to be good. I feel it's probably going to be good. Yeah. We'll put it there. I feel like 50-50 is not doing themselves the right service. I feel like it's probably going to be good. I feel like it's probably going to be good. Next up, we have Brainspace. Are they still around? What have they done? Because I know Brainspace as the Bakano. I know Brainspace as the Bakano studio, and that was a long time ago. Okay, they did Golden Kamui. Okay, they did Fumetsu no Nata 8. So we're done. I swear they used to be pretty good, and then I didn't hear about them for a long time. Like, I do not remember any of these shows. I remember Servamp. Okay. Natsume Yujin show. Okay. I feel like the source material for that is pretty good. Okay. Oregaru. Again, source material is pretty good. So they do have some good shows under their umbrella. The original Spice and Wolf as well. Damn, they just don't get a lot of work, huh? They yeah, because back then I was like, okay, Brainspace. They did Bakano. They did Spice and Wolf. They did Durarara. I was like, damn. They did Hotorubi no Morie. I'm like, damn, this is a pretty good studio. And then I just didn't hear about them for a long time. So, was Inspector good? I feel like when they get good source material, they don't. I feel like when they get when they my gut feeling of that is that they're just not getting the greatest. They're not getting the most hype IPs. When they do though, they don't do a bad job. I'm more inclined to put them in the 50-50 tier. It's not like the source material has to carry every time, but it's like it's like a 50-50 for me. It's like, yeah, you know, they did Bakano, yeah, they did. And they did great adapting Bakano. With some of their other stuff, I'm like, damn, okay. I haven't heard of you for a long time. And so I'm closer to giving you a 50-50. Studio Passione. Banger. Instant banger tier. Guys, let's take culture away for a second. Guys, let's take culture away for a second. Studio Passione are a great studio when they are making cultured shows, okay? When they are making cultured shows, okay? They're a pretty good studio. They are definitely passionate about what they do. What else have they made apart from cultured shows? Let me see. How do I pronounce it? They did Rail Wars, yeah. All right. So they're doing the new season of Mato Seihen no Slave. Hell yeah! Maybe season 2 is gonna look a lot better. Oh, they're doing a great job with the new Spice and Wolf. Okay. They have Studio Passione have such a weird resume, man. They have such a weird resume where I can undoubtedly say that they don't adapt the top tier IPs. They have a certain IP which they adapt. They have a certain style of IP that they adapt. But when they do adapt it, it is the highest tier of that genre that you can get. They have the highest tier that you can get for that genre. High School DxD Hero Citrus. Oh my god. Mieriku-chan. Yo, I remember the adaptation of Mieriku-chan, man. But they have slowly been doing a little bit more than just ecchi stuff. They have done the new Spice and Wolf, which I thought was a good adaptation. So, you know, they haven't had, let's say, an S tier IP. In fact, I even would argue to say that a lot of IPs that they have had are not even close to A tier or B tier. They don't often get good source material, but they are the ones that carry the source material. Do you think anyone would have given a shit about interspecies reviewers if Studio Passione were not adapting it? They elevate the source material undoubtedly. But would I say it's an instant banger? Maybe if we could see what they do with an S tier source material, I would be putting them in instant banger. But guys, let's put your dicks, chat, put your dicks away for a second, chat. Walter, put your dick away, Walter. All right. It's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good, guys. Walter, put your dick away, Walter. It's probably going to be good. I would say Higurashi looked good, but I've heard wasn't the greatest compared to the original Higurashi. But Studio Passione, I don't know. I see that, and I see an IP. I look at they have Matsu Seihei no Slave Season 2, which they didn't get in Season 1, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good. I have more trust with Passione than I do with Silverlink. Oh, man. Studio Sunrise. Let me get to... Okay. Studio Sunrise. The Love Live and Gundam Studio. And Code Geass Studio. They have recently broken off. I think they've renamed themselves recently. Are they Bandai Namco Studio now? Because I think they're Bandai Namco Studio now. So I think they're both the same thing. And I think they're pretty consistent. They are pretty fucking consistent. And they also have made some legendary stuff as well, you know. Bandai Namco Pictures, here we go. So Wistoria, I feel like Wistoria is the most recent example of what I've seen them do. I also was a big fan of Birdie Wing as well. Sunrise is Filmworks, not Pictures. Okay. Bandai Namco Filmworks. Is Sunrise different? God, this is very confusing. This is very confusing. Okay. This is 8 bits though. This is not Sunrise. This is 8-bit, right? I'm pretty sure this is 8-bit Studio. Okay. I don't even know what counts as Sunrise anymore. It's hard to put them under one thing because I guess Sunrise is really big and I don't know. Let me type in Sunrise. Sunrise Beyond, Sunrise Music. God fucking damn. Holy shit. There's so many stuff, so much stuff. Love Live, Gundam, Gundam and Love Live. Love Live Sunshine. Love Live and Gundam. OG Sunrise. The OG Sunrise, I know that made Code Geass, made all the Gundams, and made Cowboy Bebop. that is what I remember them for. Check on Mal. All right, let me check on Mal. Like Sunrise for the longest time were the goats of mecha shows. For the longest time, and I still think they are the goats of mecha shows. When Sunrise gets a mecha show, it's probably going to be the best mecha show of that season, maybe even of that year. And now they do idol shows as well. Oh, they did Excel World? Holy shit, I forgot they did Excel World. Of course, Gintama. All right. Code Geass. Yep. Oh, Planetes. Yo, Planetes was so good. Planetes was great. Okay. Yeah, Sunrise actually have a good resume, and if we count Bandai Namco Pictures as well, which I don't even think Bandai Namco Pictures is on this list right now. If we count Bandai Namco Pictures as well, it's Bandai Namco Pictures has also got a pretty good track record as well. It very much depends on whether you like the genre that they're adapting. If you like what Sunrise do, then it's probably going to be pretty fucking good. If you don't, then you're probably not going to be interested in the stuff they do. But Bandai Namco Pictures, more recently, I guess a studio under Sunrise. I'm very confused at how they're structured, by the way. When I see Bandai Namco Pictures, I still think Bandai Namco Pictures do adaptation-wise pretty good stuff, like Birdie Wing, and more recently, I literally just fucking said it. Like Birdie Wing, for example, which had good animation, and Wistoria as well. Wistoria, you know, people were a bit lukewarm on this, and that's mostly because I feel the source material, but god damn did they make this look good. God damn did this look great. So I'm going to put it more in the probably will be good if something under Studio Sunrise gets it. Studio Shaft also have a very distinct style. They are obviously Bakemonogatari, Madoka. They have made some absolutely goated shows. And the new Monogatari is still really, really good. I felt like they disappeared for a while though, right? I felt like they disappeared for a while. Like, what happened to Studio Shaft? I felt like they were doing so much stuff, and then they kind of just not even fell off, but just disappeared for a short while, and started doing. I'm not sure. They did the Hungry Days ad. Oh, like okay, they did Sangatsu no Line, fucking great as well. So they didn't do much. Ooh. They did Fireworks. Ooh. But okay. Okay. Yeah, because after a while they were like. It felt like after a while they were like, okay, we're done Kofuku Graffiti. Does anyone remember Kofuku Graffiti? Holy shit. Anyone remember this shit? Yo, this was let's just say this was a very cultured food show. This is some girls being very, very, very enthusiastic about their food. Food Wars? No, this is even more than Food Wars, man. Like, it felt like for a while they did a lot of shows, and then more recently, it is literally only Monogatari, Madoka, and Monogatari, Madoka, and this was Bugs Films. And Quintessential Quintuplets. I don't know. It's hard to judge because they don't do too many shows anymore. March comes in like a line. is pretty fucking good. So even though they don't do a lot, I feel like they have such a goated resume that when they do take on a project, it's probably going to be an instant banger, right? 50-50? No way it's 50-50. No way it's 50-50. You know, they don't do many projects, but when they do, I'm excited. I'm excited. So I think they deserve instant banger, even though we talk about Shaft much less than we used to talk about Shaft. I still feel like they deserve this instant banger tier right here. Same thing with Studio Orange. Same thing with Studio Orange. They have this I think Studio Orange is working their way to like GOAT status as well. They have undisputedly pushed CGI to a whole new fucking level. If you want the reason why why CGI is more respected in the anime space, you have one studio to thank for that. And CG might not be your thing, but you can't deny that Studio Orange just pushed CGI anime to a whole new level. And it's not just that. It's I got this feel when I talked to the producer on Trash Taste as well, where they don't take on a lot of projects. And the reason they don't take on a lot of projects is because you know that they are going to put their heart and soul into an adaptation. And I have felt that with every single one of their adaptations. You might not like the new Trigon Stampede as some of their other works, for example, but from an adaptation perspective, I can safely say that they improve every time they take on a new adaptation. They push the boundary with every new project that they do. And I think that they're going to continue doing that. If Studio Orange gets an IP, I think it's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be an instant banger. And they will take their time for that adaptation. And I think it's pretty safe that it's going to be a fucking banger. This studio very, very much excites me. And yeah, I think they are the GOATs of their field. Okay. Let me take a quick piss break quickly, and I'll be right back. Okay. I am back. We are back, baby. All right. Kinema Citrus, Made in Abyss. And I've done more stuff as well. Let me check this. Let me check their resume quickly. Let me check their resume. And Shield Hero. I knew they had done more than just They did Shield Hero. They did Made in Abyss. They did what's the English name for this as well? My Happy Marriage, Revue Starlight. Okay. So, okay. They did Show by Rock. All right. Okay, this pretty much lines up with what I thought about Kinema Citrus. 50-50? I don't even think it's 50-50. Kinema Citrus are a solid studio. They are a solid studio. I think they're gonna do, if they get one of a manga, I'm not gonna complain. Do I think that Shield Hero is a stain on their record? How? How is Shield Hero a stain on their records, guys? How is Shield Hero actually a stain on their record? They adapted Shield Hero as they gave, to me, they gave Shield Hero the adaptation it deserved. they gave Shield Hero the adaptation it deserved, guys. Let's just say that. Okay, let's just say that, you know? I reading the manga of Shield Hero, I was like, yeah, this was it. This is about as good as it could be. I think season 2 was terrible. I mean, you think season 2 was terrible? I think that I don't think it was that bad, honestly. I don't think it was great. I also think that arc when I read it in the original manga wasn't great either. People will complain about the CG turtle, but I don't know. That was, to me, season 2 of Shield Hero adapted a point in the manga where I kind of got disinterested in the manga as well. I think, like I said, I think that they did the source material justice. And I wouldn't say that they elevate the source material at all, but they will do the source material justice. I don't think it's so much of a 50-50 for them. No, they didn't shut the fuck up. Aside from Shield Hero, obviously they did My Happy Marriage, which I thought was a decent adaptation. They did Made in Abyss, which is one of my favorite shows. They did Revue Starlight, which was a very, very solid show as well. So, aside from Shield Hero Season 2, they did Black Bullet? Actually, I think that source material did it justice as well. They did Barakamon as well. Okay. So I honestly think that they're a pretty solid studio. They're definitely not a 50-50. They are not a 50-50. Kinema Citrus are not a 50-50. They do not deserve to go on the same tier as Silverlink and Brainspace. If you see Kinema Citrus, like they are pretty consistent, right? They are definitely consistent. It's 50-50. Nah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. They are a pretty solid studio. They are a pretty solid studio. Consistent at ass? What are you talking about? What is this? What is this? When you have a fucking resume that is like mostly pretty good fucking shows and Made in Abyss at the top as well? What are you talking about? Revue Starlight, most seasons of Shield Hero doing it justice. How is Made in Abyss bad? What are you guys talking about? What are you yapping about, man? My Happy Marriage, Revue Starlight, Made in Abyss, and you're gonna be like, yo, 50-50. Actually, 50-50. This ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. The disrespect, man. The absolute disrespect. No. I would say they're a solid studio, and I would say they have a pretty good track record. It's probably going to be a good show if they get one of my favorite mangas. All right, CloverWorks. This is so fucking hard, right? Here's my gut. But they have blemishes. They have blemishes, man. Holy shit. It's like, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, that is my gut feeling. That is my gut feeling. But then I know, guys. I know they have Promised Neverland Season 2. I know they have the ending of Wonder Egg Priority. But I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. I don't know what's happened behind the scenes. No buts. They are better than A1. Yes. Look, if CloverWorks gets an IP that I like, I'm way more excited than if A1 got it, right? I know CloverWorks is basically an offshoot of A1, but they just make good looking stuff. Even if sometimes the story might throw, even if sometimes the story itself might throw at the end, they make good looking stuff. Even Windbreaker this year, which, in terms of like the story and like, you know, the concept, I was a bit lukewarm on. When the animation hits, it's like fucking S tier animation. It is fucking great when it comes to purely just the animation and purely just them adapting it. Elusive Samurai. Holy shit. Have you seen some of the shit they've been doing with Elusive Samurai? It's amazing. It's great. And my gut feeling is that when CloverWorks adapt something, even when they can sometimes throw, holy shit, when they throw, they giga throw, man. They giga throw, but 90% of the time, they hit a banger out the park. They hit a banger out of the fucking park, man. Come on, man. Come on. It's oh, they did Promise Neverland Season 2? Yes. So it's like, it's weird because 90% of the time, I'm like, CloverWorks, instant banger. And then every now and again, they're just gonna feed. They're gonna be like, guys, let's just feed quickly. Guys, I'm an 0-17 Yasuo right now. I'm just gonna throw. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And to me, this is CloverWorks is an instant banger through and through. I am very, very excited whenever I see CloverWorks get a show, and that just speaks. Okay, here's the thing. It should speak volumes that I'm still this excited when I see CloverWorks adapt something, even with Wonder Egg Priority, even with Promised Neverland Season 2. That I have this much trust in them that even those blemishes are not enough for me to think, oh, okay, they're gonna throw this. I still think whenever I see CloverWorks, I'm fucking excited. And that speaks to the highs that they can achieve, man. So if CloverWorks gets something, you either know it's going to be an instant banger or giga throw. And you know what? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. Doga Kobo is a studio that has evolved as time has gone on. For the longest time, they were very, very good at making the moe shows, at making the slice of life moe shows. And then kind of recently, they have kind of like gone to a whole different tier. I think what they've been doing with Oshinoko recently has been on another level to what they did production-wise previously. Let me see if they've done anything else but Oshinoko, because I'm pretty sure they have. Like, if Studio Passione were the goats at cultured stuff, Doga Kobo were the goats at moe stuff, slice of life stuff. They were the goats. Yes, they were. They were. I was about to say KyoAni, but KyoAni are just the goats at everything. So, but in terms of that, so I feel like they have been going to a whole new tier more recently, because before I was like, I'm not that interested in moe shows a lot of the times, but if I want to know if I want a consistent studio that adapts these kinds of works, I'm probably going to go to Doga Kobo. But this year and last year, they came out with Oshinoko, totally going a whole new level. And even this as well, even though in terms of like the writing, I was not as, I was a little bit disappointed with how this one turned out, writing wise and writing and character wise in the second half. The direction of this was fantastic. And the first 6 episodes of this were absolutely fantastic. On an animation standpoint, it was so good. It was great. And Aoya, they knew the selling point of this show. They knew the selling point of this show, and they put all of those points into the selling points of this show, and they hit it out of the park with those moments, is what I will say for this show. So, Doga Kobo are moving more and more outside of just their comfort zone of moe shows, and I think that maybe in a few years, they even have the opportunity to go up to like instant banger tier. I don't think they're there yet. I think they need a few more shows to really prove what they're capable of as a studio as a whole. But this is a studio that has been on the rise in the past few years, and I'm getting more and more excited every new project they take on, just to see what more they can do. And they have been massively improving and doing so many more exciting stuff. So right now I have quite a lot of trust in Doga Kobo. Right now, I like them a lot. One of the most exciting studios. And then we get to Studio Deen. And then we get to Studio Deen, which is, okay. Let me remind myself first. Let me remind myself. Let me remind myself. Okay. Okay. What have you done recently that I've really enjoyed? Okay. Okay. They do a lot. They do a lot of shows. Okay, they did Konosuba. They did Rakugo. Could make an argument that, I mean, Konosuba, is it the best animated thing Studio Deen have done? Because the Konosuba animation was fantastic. They have a lot of misses though. I gotta say, Rakugo is a freaking masterpiece. I agree with that. Sakamoto is good as well. They did Pupa as well. I believe the lowest rated anime on my anime list. That's an oof. That is a little bit of an oof. Yeah, okay. Okay. It's pretty much, it's not a 50-50. This pretty much goes with my gut feeling where they have done some bangers. I think Konosuba is one example where they elevated it. They did elevate it. Rakugo was amazing as well. But they don't have the greatest track records. They made Rurouni Kenshin. Did they do the new Rurouni Kenshin? Okay, they did the new Rurouni Kenshin as well, which, from what I've seen clips of, did they do that? No, they didn't even do that. Nope, they just did one. Okay. Okay. Well, yes. My gut reaction when I see Studio Deen is, ooh. Oh, I mean, maybe. I'm hoping. Maybe it could be good. They did Konosuba. They didn't throw Konosuba, but so it's not rip all hope. But I'm like, okay. 50-50? No. This is the hopium tier. This is me hoping. It's not even 50-50, okay? Let me tell you. Nah, you're too generous. Nah. They've done a few good shows. The 2080. I would say it's like the 2080 ratio. We're closer to the 2080 ratio than the 50-50 here. They made Konosuba, you know. That's good on them. They made Rakugo Shinju. Yakuza Fiance is a fun show this season. It's not like it's a complete wash when they make it, but I definitely don't feel the greatest. Oh, guys, come on, guys, come on. How can you say we have lost all hope when we have Days with My Stepsister, which is unironically a pretty decent adaptation, actually. So how can you say that, guys? How can you actually say that? All right, it is this tier for this. Comics Wave. Comics Waves, I mean, it's hard to put anime studios who just focus on films on here, but it's going to be beautiful. I don't know. I feel like this needs a completely different tier because they don't even make anime. They don't even make anime series. It's just films. It's just Shinkai films. So it's basically like how good is the Shinkai film going to be. But it's going to be in this tier. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to undoubtedly look beautiful. I guess same with Studio Ghibli as well. Studio Ghibli and comics films are basically just in their own tier, where it's going to look fucking amazing. And it's going to be, unironically, cinema, because they are cinema films, and they are cinema. So, basically, going to have to judge on the film itself. Well, I think I think if there is a rip or hope, that if there is a studio that is deserving on rip or hope, I think Gainax deserves to be on there, because they are now, rest in peace, they are dead. They have given us some of the most iconic anime of all time. But of course, they are no longer around anymore. And Gainax, thank you very much for the legacy, for the shows that you have provided. You were the GOATs back in the day, but you have now, unfortunately, the world has moved on, and and we will always remember you. We will always remember you. Studio Binds. Okay. Too early to judge. They have Mushoku Tensei and Onimai. And Onimai and Mushoku Tensei season 1 was like, for its animation, like very, very well, very, very good. Season 2 and season 3 is still good. Definitely I would think, definitely a step down from season 1, and even arguably like Onimai in terms of like the animation itself. Doesn't mean it's bad, but definitely not on the same level. So I think it's a bit too early to judge. They're a relatively young studio, but they haven't done any duds right now. They haven't done any duds. So it's probably going to be good. Probably going to be good. Needs more time for me to properly judge. So we'll put it in the probably will be good tier. Haven't had a stinker yet. J.C.Staff. Here's my gut reaction. When I see J.C.Staff, I'm like, God flips a coin. This J.C.Staff is the 50/50 studio. They are the pinnacle of, you see your manga, you see they get J.C.Staff, and you're like, please let me win this 50/50. Please. Please let me win this 50/50. And I'm like, okay, Tuaru, Railgun, I'm like, oh, we won the 50/50. Hell yeah. One Punch Man, you're like, shit, okay, we lost the 50/50. Toradora, Golden Time, we won the 50/50. Danmachi, we won the 50/50. Index, god damn it, we lost the 50/50 on this one. J.C.Staff is the definition of you pulled a 5-star, and will you get the banner character, or are you gonna get Chi-Chi? Are you gonna get Chi-Chi, man? That is it. That is it, man. That is it. Oh man. Okay. J.C.Staff, the coin flip studio. Studio Bones. What do we think of Studio Bones? What do we think of Studio Bones? Goated. Banger. Banger. It hurts me. It hurts me. I think Studio Bones used to be the GOAT tier. I was like, if Studio Bones gets an adaptation, they will never miss. And recent Studio Bones has just not impressed me as much as they used to. They did make Mob Psycho, right? Which go to tier. But some of their more recent stuff. And I will use, obviously, My Hero Academia is a big thing, but I will use My Hero Academia as an example. And Metallic Rouge was a fucking disappointment. This was a huge disappointment. Super Crooks was a solid one as well. Super Crooks was a solid one, but definitely didn't live up to the GOAT status that what I would expect from Studio Bones, right? Because before Studio Bones, I would be like expecting something of Mob Psycho Season 3, right? And now when I see Studio Bones, I see what they're doing with My Hero Academia Season 6, right? And even though I think they're doing a good job with My Hero Academia, I look at My Hero Academia compared to its competitors. And undoubtedly, My Hero Academia, back when Season 1 and Season 2 were airing, it had some amazing cuts, amazing moments in it. And I would say that the industry around them has gotten better and better. I see what studios like, for example, Mappa are doing. I see what Studio Ufotable are doing, and even some of these other up and coming studios that are doing really, really exciting stuff. And Modern Bones just hasn't hit. Aside from Mob Psycho, that is aside from the one IP, aside from Mob Psycho, aside from that, they just haven't hit that same level of excitement as other studios like the CloverWorks or the Science Sarus or the Studio Oranges, right? And I realized this watching some of the later seasons of My Hero Academia, and watching Season 7 and Season 6, which to preface, I really, really enjoyed the latest seasons of My Hero Academia. I enjoyed what they were doing from a writing perspective, and I enjoyed the storylines that came together. And I enjoyed them more than some of the previous seasons. But animation-wise, adaptation-wise, was it as exciting as watching JJK the latest season? Was it as exciting as even watching, Demon Slayer? Or was it did it have any animation moments that consistently excited me as much as Elusive Samurai, or even shit like even shit like the fucking big sword guy? What am I trying to say? The big sword guy, fuck. I'm trying to think of like really well animated shows. Not Guts. The Black Clover, but not Black Clover. Black Clover, Wistoria, that's it, Wistoria. Like, even seeing some of the action scenes in Wistoria, I'm like, holy shit, some of these scenes are like more exciting than some of than a lot of the action scenes that I see in My Hero Academia. And I'm like, shit, My Hero Academia should be your mega IP. It is still a hot Shonen Jump show, right? It is still a one of the biggest IPs out of like all of these studios. That's, you know, it is a big IP compared to what some of these studios get to adapt. And it just there are just like less holy shit animation moments in them than I feel like other studios can do nowadays. And I think the nail in the coffin for me, not the nail in the coffin, but just like what convinced me to put this down a tier was Metallic Rouge, because I was like, this is an anime original 25-year anniversary, and I'm like, damn man, this is disappointing. This is disappointing. So Bones got power crept. I think that's the perfect way to say it. I don't think they've gotten any worse per se. I just think the general quality of anime studios has just gone up and has gone more consistently up. So the stuff that they do stand out less than what the general industry is doing nowadays. And aside from Mob Psycho, like I said, which is their one fucking amazing 10 out of 10 banger adaptation, I don't see them do as many exciting stuff with their other projects. So I still think Bone stuff will still probably be good. They used to be the GOATs though. They used to have GOATed status, but in more recent years, they've unfortunately gone down a tier in my mind. And that says a lot because I used to fucking love Bones. Okay. L but fair take. I mean, it is my take, so I will take it. PA Works. Let me see. I think PA Works is... they have a pretty good track record. They have a very, very good track record to me. Are they enough to go to GOATed tier? Probably not. But they're a really good studio. Definitely not 50-50. Because one thing about PA Works is that they're going to have very pretty shows. They're going to have very, very pretty looking shows, right? And if the source material is good, it is going to be fucking great, right? They very rarely... Do they choke? Do they choke sometimes? Let me see. Let me check. They did Glass Slip, bro. Let it go. Let it go. Do you know how long Glass Slip was? Do you know how far that was ago? Now I know my chat is a bunch of boomers, man. I'm like, Glass Slip was... When was Glass Slip? Let me check when Glass Slip was. Glass Slip was 10 years ago, guys. People remember Glass Slip. They're like, yo, I'll never forget them from making a mid-show. But also, they made Glass Slip and they made Shirobako in that same year, man. And you know what? Glass Slip was boring as hell, but at least it was pretty. You can't say that it wasn't a pretty show. You can't say that it wasn't a well-animated show. This was looking at their resume, right? PA Works gets an adaptation. It's going to have good animation. It's going to be pretty. And I like looking at their recent stuff. I can't say that they've even in terms of if you enjoyed the show or not, they probably would You might argue that they have had some misses, but on like an animation and adaptation kind of like level, you can't say that. Shit. They're really fucking good. They're actually really good. Shit. They actually, like, from an animation perspective, they're like, shit, these guys are really, really fucking good. And they very rarely have misses, if you think about it. They very rarely just have misses. If they get good source material, they're going to put that out of the park. They're gonna hit that out of the park, I feel. Even with some of like they're not great at source material, they still do very, very good looking shows. So again, I don't think they're goated status. But they are very, very good. They are very good studio in my opinion. Very consistent in terms of the quality of their animation. And I think this is the right this is the right tier for them. All right. The goats. That's just is there even an argument for Kyoto Animation for this one? There is no question in my mind that Kyoto Animation are the absolute goats. And in my mind, there is only one studio that can really compete with them with the excitement I get when I see that studio attached to an IP. But there's nothing more I need to say. Kyoto Animation revolutionized the industry. They are still revolutionizing the industry. Even after the horrific events that happened to Kyoto Animation, even extra points as one of the few studios that treat their animators well and treat their work as well. Their legacy is there. They've made some amazing shows. They continue to make amazing shows. And yeah, what can I say? When Kyoto Animation gets an IP, you can't say that the show is not going to look fucking incredible. You know, that's it. That's it. Not too much to say about that. TNK. What have they done? I've heard of them before. High School DxD? Oh, okay. Damn, they haven't done a lot. Huh. They did the new VTuber anime. And DxD. And that's it. Oh, they did Icky Toast. They did School Days? Holy shit. Oh my god. What is this studio? From horny to VTubers. The lesser Passione is what I'm hearing here. All right. Well, I guess the source material has to carry for them. Let's just say the source. I'm just saying they didn't adapt a lot, but the source material was peak. And then they did School Days, and then they definitely adapted the source material of that. Studio Lerche. Oh, they did redo of Healer as well. Did they actually? Okay. How do I pronounce this? Lark? Larch? All right, let's see what you got here. Classroom of the Elites. They did Given. Okay. They did Astra Lost in Space. Asobi Asobase. Danganronpa. So they are capable of doing decent stuff. They're not the most exciting studio. They yeah, okay. Okay, this pretty much goes in the 50-50 tier for me. The 50-50 tier where I'm like, you know, it could be good. Might not be. I am neither excited nor unexcited at the studio getting an adaptation. It's a 50-50 studio for me. Not too much to say about that. But that is unlike Studio Trigger, which come on, guys. Come on. Banger. I think that there was a time when I thought Studio Trigger were a little bit overhyped, but with their more recent stuff, they are getting more and more consistent. I feel like back in the day, because they were a smaller studio, I was like, okay, people look at their highs a lot, but people forget that not everything they make is a fucking kill. They can still do stuff like Inferno Cop and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And BNA. But the more the time goes on, the more consistent that they have been able to, the more consistency they've been able to produce. And Inferno Cop was the biggest troll of the anime. No, the biggest troll of the anime industry was Ninja Inferno. No, Ninja Cop. No, what was the Ninja one they made? Ninja Slayer, Ninja Kamui. that was the biggest that was the biggest troll, man. Ninja Slayer from Animation. That is it. But Studio Trigger, unlike the one thing that I've been very impressed about Studio Trigger is they were one of the first studio that was able to make a brand out of the work that they made. Before then, I don't think a lot of studios had the same amount of brand power that Studio Trigger had, even though they were a relatively new studio and relatively small, with not as much of a resume as some of these other studios. They were one of the first studios that were able to just make an entire IP and give the viewers hype out of anything they made just because it was attached to a Studio Trigger name. Which is why they could get away with making shit like Ninja Slayer from Animation, and people were still hyped about that just because it was like from Studio Trigger. I would say now you have more stuff like Science Saru, and like Shaft as well back in the day that have a branding power that was similar to Studio Trigger. To me, it felt like Studio Trigger were one of the first in that field, where you had very little shows to, they didn't have as many shows to show from, and yet they were able to make a branding power very, 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 very fast. And more recently, I feel like everything that they touch is a labor of love. Dungeon Meshi was an amazing adaptation. Even when they do stuff like Gridman, I fucking love Gridman as well. And of course, anytime the Hiroyuki Imaishi, the GOAT team, touches a show, most recently with Cyberpunk Edge Runners, it is top tier. It is top tier. Before back in the day, I would get excited when Studio Trigger had their goated team adapt a piece of work. And by that goated team, I mean like anything that is directed by Hiroyuki Imaishi, because they are bringing out the A team. But more recently, I feel like even if Imaishi isn't attached to a project, it's still going to be a banger. And I think right now, I'm happy putting them up in the top tier because how can you not be excited when Studio Trigger adapts a piece of work? TMS Entertainment. Is this 50-50? TMS. What have you done? Okay, it's 50-50 because I literally had this feeling. I had this feeling. Guys, Sakamoto Days fans. How did you feel when it was announced that TMS Studios was taking over Sakamoto, right? How did you feel, right? Because we can test this now. How did you feel? Right? You looking at this list, you saw TMS and you didn't immediately go to this. You didn't go to this, right? You're like, there is hope there. There is hope there. They have made stuff like Blue Box, for example. And did they make Blue Box? Are we sure they made Blue Box? Is this 100% TMS? Okay. This is like they are just a producer of this. Let me check. Let me check. TMS Entertainment. Okay. Okay. Because TMS Productions can do good stuff. All right. Are we counting? Are we counting Rent a Girlfriend here, guys? Are we counting? Are we counting Rent a Girlfriend? And that's a win, right? That's a win for their. That's a win. All right, they did Fruits Baskets. They did Megalobox, which was great. But they have also done a lot of forgettable stuff as well. And it's not a studio that elicits excitement from an animation standpoint and a adaptation standpoint. I am not going to say that the source material has to carry, but as Sakamoto Days fans are probably experiencing right now, they're going through a 50-50. They're like, we're flipping a coin right now. We're flipping a coin. Real Life was good as well. Yes. They're good enough. 50-50. Enough to give you hopium. This is copium. This is hopium. This is cope. This is hope. And TMS is the Hope Studio. Liden Films. Is this a Cope studio? Is this Cope or Hope? Is this Cope or Hope? What have they done again? Let's check. Let's check. Liden Films. Oh, they're doing this one? They're doing Takamine-san, Put Them Away. Okay, they're probably going to adapt that well. All right, let's see. Okay, so they're doing the new Rurouni Kenshin. This was very well animated. I watched this. This was definitely the most forgettable thing I've ever seen. Insomniacs was good. Goblin Slayer 2 was aight. Tokyo Revengers. My impression of Tokyo Revengers is I should just go read the manga. This was vibes. I don't know a lot of these shows. Okay. Okay. Hanebado was well animated. Hanebado was. Oh, they did Killing Bites as well? They had Killing Bites back in the day? Koita Uso? Alright. Okay. I feel like Liden Films is closer to a 50-50. It's closer to a 50-50. And the 50-50 comes from they can do vibes very well. They can do vibes. I was like, is this a Cope studio? And I'm like, no, they've done some bangers before. It's closer to a 50-50 for Liden Films. It's not exciting, but I think they can adapt a certain type of. Are they doing Witch Hat Atelier? Are they? I don't think they are. Well, at least no. Bugs Film is doing Little Witch Hat Atelier, and Bugs Film are so new. I don't know how to judge them because they've only done one other show. So Bugs Film, I believe, I've only done Zom 100, and there are some fucking cinematic scenes in Zom 100. 8 bits. 8 bits. Let's say, okay, guys. Let's ignore the elephant in the room. Guys, let's ignore the elephant in the room. All right, let's ignore Blue Lock for a second. Right, guys? Right? Look, I have a feeling something disastrous just happened behind the scenes with the production schedule of that. What else is on their resume? Look, if we can look past what CloverWorks have done before, let's just give them the benefit of a doubt for a second. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt for a second. What else have they done? Okay. Slime Season 3. Okay. They did the original Blue Lock. This looked fucking beautiful. Did they actually do this? Is the Studios 8-bit? Yo, I haven't seen this, but I remember watching the trailer, and this won one of the most best looking shows in the Reddit Anime Awards, I believe. And I remember this based on like, how have I never heard of this? And yeah, this looks fucking beautiful. Okay, they did Slime, so they've done all seasons of Slime. They did Mahoka as well. Reddit fan opinion? No. It did genuinely look really, really good. So did this one as well. This one, I've really from like, if I remember correctly, this was a pretty good show as well. That the ending was that we never got another season of. Okay. Infinite Stratos as well. I didn't realize they were this young. 8-bit are really young. Okay. I would say that this is closer to a 50-50. This is closer to a 50-50. I don't think the source material has to carry. I think they have had times when they've elevated the source material, but they have had times when something disastrous has happened. Let's just yeah, with that, they go 50-50. They go 50-50 for that one. They go 50-50. All right. Studio Mappa. I mean, it's just. I mean, it is right. It is like, it's obviously leaves a very bitter taste in my mouth, and that's why we're not talking about that. We're literally talking about the final product here. It's they used to be pretty good, but more and more, and I'm pretty sure I know the reason why more and more. They are doing really, really high quality stuff. Someone said Wit Attack on Titan is greater than Mappa Attack on Titan. I think it's a harder choice to pick than I think it's hard to pick, right? Because I would say that Attack on Titan final season, for example, when the reins were handed to Mappa, it was undoubtedly so that Wit had the better adaptation. But as the season went on, and as you saw more and more stuff, they consistently made it a better and better adaptation to building up to the final movies of the final season. And holy shit, some of the scenes in the final season, I think, were even better than some of the scenes in Wit Attack on Titan. I think Wit Attack on Titan was like consistently fucking S tier, like beginning to end. I think Attack on Titan final season from Studio Mappa continually got better and better and better and better and better and better. So I think Mappa definitely got up. To that same level at the end. And honestly, when you see Mappa get a manga or get an IP, it's probably gonna be good, isn't it, guys? Even have you seen the trailer of their newest one, where it's a trailer of an anime that is an anime about making anime, and it looks really, really fucking good. And I'm like, this Zenshu, and I'm like, damn, this looks really fucking beautiful. Actually, this looks really beautiful, and I'm like, shit. It's just cry through the pain, just laugh through the pain. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't feel good saying this, but like, they've been responsible for Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, which is an absolute celebration of fight choreography and animation, and it could have been even better if they have been given even more time and been treated fairly. I know that, but it has pretty much, for modern shonen adaptations, in its own way, raised the bar, and I think it's going to be a long time until we see something that has done what JJK season 2 has done. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. that's pretty much it. It is the sour, it is the bitter aftertaste, knowing that to get this product, we know what needed to be sacrificed, and in the perfect world, we do not want that to happen again. It is, but unfortunately, that's just the way things are. Studio Madhouse have had a revival. They fell off for a long time, I think. And most recently with Orb, with Free Ren, I feel like they are going back to GOAT status. They are a legendary studio that started off here, went down to here, and now they are climbing back up, in my opinion. Modern Madhouse still not enough just yet to go up here, but I would say that it will probably be good. And I think there's a reason why they fell down here, and it's because a lot of Madhouse's core team broke off and made Mappa. So there was a long time when there was a time when I was afraid Madhouse was going to go the Gainax route, when they were just going to fall off and they would just never recover. But most recently with Free Ren and now with Orb, I'm like, holy shit, okay, you are getting yourself back onto the map right now. And I'm curious to see what they're going to make in the future, because it seems like they are... Madhouse originals are great, though. I want to see what else they've made. Because they did Overlord, and even though I enjoy Overlord, I can't hand on heart say that Overlord is great because Madhouse did it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just... Yeah, so they're still doing stuff like, you know, Yamada-kun was fun. Trillion Game is okay. Overlord Season 4 as well. Oh, they did Sunny Boy as well. Did they do this? Damn, they go away and they come back and they're like, yo, let's bring a banger back. Tagged Opt Destiny. All right. No Game, No Life. Yeah, they did One Punch Man, didn't they? Back in the day. This is Madhouse at their peak. One Punch Man was peak Madhouse. Their A team is the GOAT, but their B team is meh. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing with Madhouse. They will come and they will like Death Parade as well. Oh, this is peak Madhouse era. This No Game, No Life as well, peak Madhouse era right here. Yeah, I feel like they're getting close back to that peak with Modern Times. And I feel like yeah, I'm comfortable putting them here. Where Madhouse right now, I feel like they're just a tier below it being an instant banger. As someone said, their A team is goated. Their B team, not so much just yet, not so much. But I feel like they're there, right at the top, and probably will be good. They have gone through waves. Madhouse have gone through waves of different level of trust and quality. Okay. What can we say, guys? What can we say? We're leaving off with the true fucking goats of the anime industry right here. I'm gonna do them both at the same time because they are both going up to the same tier. They are both going up to the same tier. Wit is not that good. I feel like Wit is. They haven't lost my hope just yet. Maybe like a little bit of a miss with Suicide Squad Isekai. maybe a little bit of maybe a little bit of a miss. But yo, you wait till the new One Piece anime comes out, man. Above Trigger, okay. If I were actually to do this, they'd probably go around there, I'd say. Yeah, around the same excitement I get from CloverWorks. They are okay. Let's start with Studio Ufotable. Let's start with Studio Ufotable. I mean, even no matter what, they just do amazing stuff. And I don't know what kind of team they have like formed within their studio, but they are not only consistent, but they have also pushed the bar of animation. They have, you know, same as Kyoto Animation. Same with Kyoto Animation. Studio Ufotable have pushed the level of quality that we thought was possible in an anime series within their legacy. And they continue to do so every new project, every new season. I just have a feeling when I see Studio Ufotable that they're people that are never satisfied staying still. They are never satisfied like doing the same thing over and over, and they will always try to make things look even better, make their next projects even better than the last projects, no matter how high of a bar they put down. And that's why they are one of the GOATs. One of the GOATs. Karen no Kyokai was how I got introduced to Studio Ufotable. Even when they do projects that don't have the strongest IP, I remember they did Tales of Zetsuria the X, and I'm like, why does this adaptation look so fucking good when this is just a forgettable RPG adaptation of a game that, as a Tales fan, I don't even remember. And yet the anime was even better than the game, in my opinion. I'm like, what the hell? Why does this look so good? And it's because it's done by Studio Ufotable. Demon Slayer put them into a new stratosphere, and whatever is going to happen with the Genshin anime, it is undoubtedly going to look good. They have never, I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't think can never remember Studio Ufotable having a miss. They might have a miss in terms of like a show that is not the greatest, but even in their lowest tier shows, they still look fantastic. They still look fantastic, man. Still look fucking fantastic. Studio Wit have had some misses, have had some shows that have not been the level of quality as some of their peaks. But they are a very, very exciting studio, and they do very, very exciting stuff that is not just Attack on Titan. They made VV as well. They made King's Ranking as well. And I think their A-team is fucking amazing, is one of the GOATs. And that's why hearing that the A-team is on the new One Piece, I have a lot of trust that the new One Piece is going to be fucking fantastic. Oh yeah, they also made, I forgot, they also made Spy Family, and they made Vinland Saga Season 1 as well. So Wit have such a strong resume that I don't think one blemish, which is the new Suicide Squad Isekai, which wasn't even like a bad show, it was just like an show, you know? One blemish isn't enough at this very moment to put it down a tier. I think Studio Wit right now, I have the trust in them to put out bangers. And I will continue having that trust until maybe they until they maybe pull a Studio Bones and just consistently be like, okay, this is too many disappointments right now. But that is it. That is the tier list of how I feel when I see an anime studio that's been attached to a new IP and how excited I get. This list is different than what the list would look like 5-10 years ago, but I feel like this is a pretty accurate reflection on the modern anime on the modern anime climate. You know, some of these studios have so much legacy behind them. And I mean, that was all the studios on the list, so I can't remember if we've missed out any. I think that I can't. There's probably some studios that we've missed, but this covered pretty much every studio in the GOAT status, at least that I wanted to put on the GOAT status. Studio Nut. GoHands? No, GoHands is right here. GoHands is right here, my guy. But hope you enjoyed that tier list, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, then hit that like and subscribe. And if you have anything that you disagree with, just leave a comment. And that's it from me for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right.